The run in the inaugural season of the National Women's Soccer League has begun in earnest, and two teams who have turned it around with a tough stop to the season meet here in beautiful Starfire Stadium in Tukwila, Washington, just south of Seattle. It's the Chicago Red Stars meeting Seattle Reign FC. Let's take a look at the NWSL table. You can see on top, new dog on top, that's FC Kansas City on 32 points, defeating Boston Breakers last night. The opponent here for today, Chicago, on 22 points, just 5 points out of the last playoff spot. And Seattle down in 7th place. They've worked their way out of the basement, but still with some work to do on 15. And good evening, folks. I'm Landyn Rookard, joined here today by David Wharton, a local coach, one-time assistant coach of the University of Washington women's team. And we have a very interesting matchup here with a couple teams that are hitting their stride now and a Chicago team that's desperate to stay in this playoff race.
Well, they need points this weekend, and so they know they've got to come out strong. I mean, the Reign have kind of had their number so far this season. And so they know that they need to get something here. Otherwise, it's gonna be a struggle for them to make the playoffs.
Their offense is really anchored by a stellar U.S. international by the name of Chalupny, coming into today on 5 goals and 3 assists. And really, she is the machine for this Chicago Red Stars offense.
She's the definition of a seasoned veteran. She gets it done on both sides of the ball. Not only can she score goals, but she can get stuck in on the defensive end as well.
On the other side, Chicago's looking for more production from Inka Grings, a German international legend with 64 goals in her storied international career. Just 1 goal through 10 games, but you know she's gonna take here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, she's a quality player. Her stats speak for themselves. She hasn't made the adjustment to NWSL just yet, but you know she will over time. Hopefully for Seattle, it's not tonight.
And on the Seattle side of the ball, we know that they have plenty of weapons, especially with all the players back. But one player who's really done well since actually coming over from Chicago Red Stars is Jessica McDonald. She scored 3 goals in 4 appearances.
Yeah, she produced right off the bat. I mean, it was a great trade and part of the sort of renaissance for the Seattle Reign. She scored 2 goals in her first game and has just been on fire ever since.
And another player for Seattle, Christine Nairn. She's one who is here from the beginning and has really stepped it up since the other players have come on board with 5 assists on the year.
She really struggled a little bit at the outset, playing a little bit out of her comfort zone. But since Megan Rapinoe has been here, she's had so much more time, so much more space, and she has absolutely produced.
David, a really interesting matchup, as I mentioned at the top. Chicago 0-5-2 in their first 7. Since then, they have been 5-2-2, and with Seattle, their struggles well documented in their first 10. Since then, they've been 4-1-2. Looks like it'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, these are two teams that have both suffered a little bit from injuries or not having their allocated players here. Unfortunately for Chicago, I mean, they're still missing Shannon Box, whereas the Seattle Reign have gotten Megan Rapinoe and Hope Solo back. It's been tough sledding for both these teams, but right now they have to get it done with the season coming to a close.
It's crunch time here in the NWSL, and we'll be back with lineups and first kick after this. Welcome back to beautiful Starfire Sports Stadium here in Tukwila, Washington. Just about set for first kick between the Chicago Red Stars and Seattle Reign Football Club, and lineups are in, so we'll get to those starting 11 here in just a minute. I'm Landyn Rookard again, joined by David Wharton, and as we talked about on the pregame show, this has all the makings of a game that should be a fiercely competitive one.
Absolutely. I mean, again, the Red Stars have got a little bit of an axe to grind with the Seattle Reign, one of the few teams that hasn't been able to get a result off Seattle. Seattle is coming off of a game where they feel like they underperformed against Kansas City FC, where Coach Laura Harvey felt like they just didn't show up, and she's looking for a response from them tonight.
Well, let's get to those starting 11. As you can see, both teams up on your screen. First, we'll talk about the Chicago Red Stars 11 as announced by head coach Rory Dames. And they're dealing with some absences. They have 3 players out due to injury, so they'll line up like this with McLeod in goal, the defensive 4, Rachel Quon, Jacqueline Santacaterina, Sonia Foos, Michelle Wenino, and in the midfield core, Leslie Osborne, Adriana Leon, Chalupny, Julianne Sitch, and up top, Maribel Dominguez and Inca Grings. And something of a resurgence for Maribel Dominguez. Wasn't getting too much playing time at the beginning of the season, but the Mexican international really showing her class here in recent games. The starting 11 for Coach Laura Harvey of Seattle Reign FC. We'll get that here in just a second for you. At any rate, probably what's most notable, David, is the debut of a couple of players here in the starting 11. Two players getting their first start of the season. Those are Emily von Egmond of Australia and Stephanie Cox of U.S. national fame.
Well, two players at opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to where they are in their careers. Emily van Egmond, having just joined the Seattle Reign, 20 years old, with from the Australian national team, a great player with a bright future ahead of her. Everyone's excited to see her play. Stephanie Cox, a local hero, a local resident. She's obviously had a long, storied U.S. national team career. She's been out for a year having a child, and she's coming back. She's about 90% and getting her first run out in a starting role. Hopefully she can add some maturity and some gravitas to that Seattle Reign back line.
As you can see, we're just about set for first kick. The Reign wearing their blue kits going from left to right. Their Chicago Red Stars wearing their white kits with blue shorts and red stars underneath their crest, and they'll be going from right to left as we look down the field. Robert Sabia is at center. He's assisted today by Chris Hutchinson and Levi Rippey, and a local referee, Ray Moffitt Jr., is doing the fourth official work, and the crowd's still trickling in, and for what should be a wonderful Thursday night clash. Center checking to make sure all is well. It's crunch time here in the NWSL. Two teams with not much to lose, but plenty on the line. And as the whistle blows, and we are underway here from Starfire. Ball played up that wide flank. Offside flag goes up, delayed, as just as soon as Megan Rapinoe got a touch on it, the flag went up here on the near side.
Well, and already Seattle Reign are looking to get behind with Megan Rapinoe. I think that will put the fear into Chicago Red Stars, seeing her running in behind Rachel Quon like that.
Plenty of weapons for the Seattle team with the additions over the past 6 or 7 games. Settled back to the back line. Good to see Stephanie Cox getting a couple touches. Now she's got some defensive work to do. Forcing Leslie Osborne back. Still in the center third. Winning out, Stephanie Cox.
That's great composure and confidence from her early on.
Inca Grings now on the far side. Slides the ball into the 18. Flag goes up immediately. That was just a step off. And there you can see just a bit of what we're talking about with Inca Grings' ability, as well as Lori Chalupny a nose for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that acceleration in behind, you could see her just scoot right past the Seattle Reign backline. It was too bad for Chicago that Inca Grings couldn't pull the trigger just a little bit earlier to get that ball in behind, but I'm sure the elevated heart rates of the Seattle Reign, seeing Lori Chalupny get in behind.
Barnes tried to go up to Rapinoe, fell fortuitously back to her own feet. Reign will reset and work out of the back once more. Kaylin Kyle. There's a direct ball, trying to go over the top. Tough to see those white numbers on the shorts here in the sun, but getting ahead to it was Jackie Santacaterina. Out now for a Seattle throw. Both teams in the best form they've been in all season. Both teams with tough starts to the season. Have been playing good football as of late. Second ball cleared off the pitch. Ellie Reed ready to restart play. Inching their way up the near touchline. Reed gets the return from Van Egmond, making her first start of the season and only her third appearance. A good move from Barnes to step away from pressure and spray it out wide. Cox, now it's Keelan Winters.
And it's ball movement that like this that you'll notice when the Reign are at their best. When they're playing vertically up the field, they're not quite as strong as when they're moving the ball side to side.
Stephanie Cox has been very involved on the left side here, and we're only 2 minutes and 45 seconds in. Tries the ball in. Didn't find anyone, but it's good to see Stephanie Cox not shy about getting involved in the attack. Again, making her first appearance in a league match for the Reign. Played a bit in a friendly against one of the U.S. junior sides.
I think she wants to show Laura Harvey that she made the right decision by bringing her into the game, and she's going to try and have an impact early on. Brings
some of that tenacity of players who played in the World Game. And McLeod restarting play. Finding the head was Van Egmond. It's going to go all the way back once more to McLeod. Now a chance to get rid of the pressure for the Red Stars. Up to Grings.
The Red Stars have numbers here. Seattle's got to get organized, got to recover quickly.
The pass was trying to pick up Maribel Dominguez, but she would have been offside anyways. Still, you're playing with fire anytime you let players of her caliber sneak that far down toward the byline. On the clearance effort now are the Reign. They look to build out of the back once more. It's coming off a very tough result at FC Casey. Though some of the Sporting KC team was at that match, actually. Nice to see MLS players supporting the women's game around the league. We've had Sounders players out several times for the Reign this season. Barnes now. Cross midfield it goes. There's Christine Nairn. Try to head it forward from Winters. Doesn't quite make that connection.
That's a good movement. Again, good ball movement from the Reign. They're not only moving the ball side to side, but they're moving it up and back and forcing the Red Stars to shift. You never want to let the defense feel like they're settled.
And before the game started, you talked quite a bit about how pleased you have been with Christine Nairn and her play, especially since the Reign have really had full complement with terms of their internationals.
Well, I just think she was put in a tough position. I mean, Christine's obviously a very, very good player, had a tremendous amount of success at the college level. But she was really had a lot put on her shoulders as a rookie and was asked to really carry the offense of this team early on. Not a role that she was necessarily comfortable in as she was making the jump to the next level. Having brought in some of those players who now give her a little more time and a little more space, take a little bit of that responsibility off her shoulders, really kind of freed her up to be the player she really can be.
There's a monster tackle from Jess Fishlock to win the ball right near the touchline. She's then summarily dispatched from behind. The first foul of the match whistled. Trying to see who that was who brought her behind. They knew that Seattle had numbers and were going forward with a head. Here we can see the replay, just the tail end of Rapinoe crashing to the turf.
Jess Fishlock is just one of those players. She'll irritate you, and you'll just wind up taking her down because you're so frustrated that she's battling harder than you are.
Looks like there's going to be 3-woman wall for the Red Stars. Couple options to see who's going to swing it in. No surprises. Rapinoe goes low, hard strike, and it's in the back of the net. Tarak off the free kick. Classy finish. More classy dance from Megan Rapinoe. And it must be said, I don't know how that ball snuck past the Red Stars back line. But what do you know, David Wharton ends up in the back of the net. And the Reign lead early, 1-0.
There was just some terrific running in the box that was really keeping the Red Stars defenders occupied. They were looking for the ball into the back post. I don't think anybody thought that there was going to be a shot there. The ball sneaks underneath the wall. The keeper's waiting for the ball to come across the face of the net. Here you see that strike low and hard. Keeper is unsighted, trying to react to the run across the box in case the ball's deflected, and it sneaks underneath her.
Rapinoe's third goal of the season in the short time that she has been here with Seattle. Of course, started the season with Lyon, contractual obligations in France. And there you see what she brings to the table with a hard-driven free kick and a dangerous ball. Red Stars trying to respond. Maribel Dominguez has a go. It's headed over the byline for a corner to the Red Stars. And that's something we talked about with Coach Laura Harvey before the game. How do they respond after scoring a goal? Do they have the tenacity to keep the ball out of the net right after they score?
Yeah, she was talking about their lack of killer instinct. We get a goal and kind of relax, and she's looking for them to polish off the Red Stars tonight and keep their first clean sheet.
Julian Sitch with an in-swinger. That's dangerous. Headed away. Good defensive work by Kaylin Kyle. She is a stalwart in the back. And there we have another foul, and just a ticking off, it looks like, to Inka Grings. Appeals for a card from the home faithful as Megan Rapinoe again chopped down. And I think you're going to see that more often than not here in the league. Blowing the whistle quickly was Robert Sabia, and things are settled down once more. Kyle forward. Appeals for handling. Must have just hit the shoulder, at least that's what the center saw, as now Maribel Dominguez tumbles to the turf.
Yeah, Dominguez takes a good touch, and as Reed steps up, she creates a little bit of space in behind Ellie Reed and puts the ball behind her. She was gone. Ellie Reed really forced into a bad situation, has to take her down.
Now, I have to say, this is one thing I don't like, the center calling over Ellie Reed for a word. She's trying to get back into Fed, and now it actually puts her at a slight disadvantage if Foose were to take it quickly, which she doesn't. But that's not something I'm particularly fond of. She's not trying to get in the way of the ball. She's trying to get back to defense. Look at all that jostling there toward the top of the 18. Foose sends it in, doesn't even make it past the first line of defense. Right there was Lauren Barnes to get it away. Here's Foose away. Right there is Reed. Clear but not away. Now Barnes with the clearance proper. McDonald going to try to put some pressure there on Santacaterina. Tries to head it down. Good to see Van Egmond get involved in the play. And the shot whistles high from Megan Rapinoe. She's feeling it today.
Well, I mean, it's one of the things that's so great about Megan Rapinoe. She knows exactly what she's going to do as the ball arrives. You know, it wasn't executed exactly the way she wanted there, but she had that shot in her head from the moment that ball was touched onto her.
If you're just joining us now, just crossing over into the 10th minute of play, Megan Rapinoe with the 6th-minute goal to put the home side up, 1-0. Really, Seattle's had Chicago's number. One of two teams that have been beaten by 1-0-1. The first ever match in NWSL was a 1-1 draw. And then here at home, the Reign got their first home win with a 3-1 victory. Now, there's some big pressure being put on by Inka Grings. This is getting a bit testy off her line as Soap Solo to clear it. Is it going to bounce into touch? Finally, it does. Just a little miscommunication perhaps in the back line for Seattle. Stephanie Cox brought in to try to help solidify some of that. Ball sent in. Reed elevates, and it looks like she's going to win that battle with Maribel Dominguez. You can see why Dominguez has been getting the playing time she has been since the start of the season.
Yeah, these are the shaky moments right after they score that the Reign really want to avoid. They've really got to lock things down. That way they can assert themselves and assert control over this game. Worth
mentioning that Dominguez is one of the older players on that Chicago Red Stars team at 34. Chicago Red Stars, one of the teams returning to the top flight of women's soccer. Played in WPS for a couple of seasons, and last year played in WPSL Elite as that ball is sent in by Lori Chalupny. Right there was Hope Solo, but her clearance is cut out, and Red Stars again with another opportunity to edge of the 18. Cross miss from Adriana Leon goes. And out for a goal kick. Still just one shot here in the match. And that was a goal for the Reign. Interesting note, Chicago actually comes in to the season with most fouls committed at 189. Lori Chalupny has committed 32 of those, also top of the league. So they're a physical team. They go in hard, as I'm sure you've already seen. Nairn back to Reed.
Well, that's kind of amazing. I mean, the Reign apparently sit in third place with 55 fouls.
155.
155.
Yes.
Excellent. When I saw the 55 on there, I was a bit surprised that one team could have 3 times as many fouls as another.
Wise slide tackle back, preventing Rapinoe from getting yet another clear-cut opportunity. Good defense there from Leslie Osborne. Keelan Winters running onto that. Settled down by Christine Nairn. There's Van Egmond to work it over to the near side. Ellie Reed running toward the corner of the 18, and just a little miscommunication between her and Jessica McDonald. Not quite on the same page, but you like the creativity there.
Yeah, she thought that that McDonald was going to turn and head towards the end line. McDonald wanted that ball out on the edge so that she could go one-on-one and face up. Just a little miscommunication, but if you're going to lose the ball, lose it to the other end of the field. It's never a bad idea.
Inka Grings is going to be hard-pressed to keep that one in, and does not, says the far side assistant. Running out for a Reign FC throw. Fireworks early here in Tukwila, Washington. Landyn Rookard, in for Tom Glasgow, honored to be here alongside David Wharton, who's in for Leslie Gallimore.
Yeah, the Reign having to go to their announcing bench late on in the season, I guess it is.
Yeah, well, it's that time when people start picking up knocks. Maribel Dominguez, just to be clear, neither of the commentators are hurt. Tom Glasgow prearranged absence, and Leslie Gallimore doing her coaching duties on recruitment for University of Washington. Been women's head coach for many years. As Maribel Dominguez was whistled for handling. Working up the left. What do you make of Stephanie Cox through 13 minutes so far here, David?
Well, she's been steady. I mean, she's gotten caught pretty high up the field a couple of times. It's good to see that she feels the confidence that she can get forward up around the other team's box. That's great to see. Great to be interesting to see whether she keeps that up throughout the course of the game.
Sorry to interrupt you. Over the top to Ellie Reed, that was. Earns her team a corner. Showing that they can play direct.
Yeah, it'd be quite a dagger if the Reign could get another goal right here. Chicago Red Stars dropping everybody back to try and seal off the goal.
Rapinoe, of course, looking to swing this one out perhaps with her right foot. Indeed, that's the case. Dangerous toward the far post. Getting a boot on it first was Kaylin Kyle. Tracks back, perhaps a chance at a second go. Emily Van Egmond is going to retreat back to Lauren Barnes. Now they're going to go over the top once more to Rapinoe. Here on the right side, chance to send it in. Good defense. Wonderful tackle there from Maribel Dominguez getting back and helping out. The clearance only as far as Ellie Reed once more. Back to Barnes. Again, Stephanie Cox, first appearance here in a Reign uniform. Last year spent some time with the Sounders women in the W League. So not a stranger to the Starfire pitch, which of course will only help her as she familiarizes herself on the field with the Reign.
I think already you can see why the Reign like Emily Van Egmond so much.
Only 20 years of age. Actually was named co-captain for a couple of matches for the Australian International, their national selection.
Well, her movement off the ball is very, very thoughtful and constant. She's constantly asking the other team's midfield and defenders to make decisions about where to go. She's obviously got a really solid head on her shoulders in possession of the ball. She's very calm, very collected, looks to keep possession. She's clearly one of those players that makes the players around her better and can make a difference either with a header or a decisive ball in behind.
Ball stays in over on the far side. Red Stars perhaps trying to take a bit of advantage of the disorganization. Here's Maribel Dominguez. Running toward the top of the 18, finds a partner. It's Lori Chalupny. And you wouldn't bet against Chalupny from that distance as that goes over the crossbar.
That's really a chance gone wasted for the Red Stars. They had Maribel Dominguez breaking down the flank. Ellie Reed pulled all the way over into the middle, and they couldn't find her in behind. She was forced to pull back up and play the ball in front of the Reign defense. Made things a lot easier for them.
First shot from the Red Stars here through quarter of an hour. The Reign in their blue kits. Pulled ahead in the 6th minute. We'll have to look that up, but I got to imagine that's the fastest goal scored by this franchise. Rapinoe tried to pick out a teammate, but it falls right back to her in the end anyways after Winters collected. Long distance effort, punched over the bar. I think McLeod thought that may have been going over the top to begin with, but just to be sure, and it would have actually dipped down, did palm that over the crossbar for another corner.
Yeah, I think you see a little bit of a smile on Megan Rapinoe's face. I'm not sure she meant to put that on goal. I think she was looking to go back post with that. But the ball came off the top of her foot, slid right onto the crossbar, and McLeod gets a hand on and tips it over.
Second corner of the night for the Reign. Rapinoe ready yet again. Far post dangerous, not quite. It goes a bit longer perhaps than she liked, and Kaylin Kyle tried to get a boot on it.
She looks to be going back post to Kaylin Kyle. I think she thinks that she can bring the ball over the top, and Kaylin can nod it back down in front of goal or nip it in at the near post. But she just wasn't able to get on that one. Just a little too tall.
To be quite honest, Reign have looked the better side here through 17. Certainly the majority of the possession as McLeod restarts play. How's this for a response, David? We talked to Coach Harvey, and she wanted to see a big response from the Reign after a tough outing at Kansas City. So far, they're doing all the right things. Yeah,
I mean, the game has settled down a little bit. Again, you give up a goal, you want to come back and get it right away. Always gives you that little bit of extra energy, and I think you saw that from the Red Stars immediately with their best chances of the game coming, in the 5 minutes or so after the goal. But the Reign have managed to weather the storm, no pun intended, and look to have settled the game down a little bit, and are now starting to get some chances themselves.
Here's Dominguez, tries the through ball, cut out.
There's that composure from Van Egmond we're talking about. Shows up in the right spot and then gives the ball to a player in a better position.
That's not a good giveaway from Stephanie Cox, and Red Stars could have a chance here. They have a 3-on-1. There is a through ball to the captain. Luckily, it's a misplayed as they're trying to pick out Lori Chalupny. Here's Rapinoe. Now into the midfield for Keelan Winters. Good, slow, steady build-up. Nairn. Try to center it.
Yeah, it's too bad. Christine's first touch was a little on the rough side. She had players running. If she could have gotten that ball off her foot a little earlier, I think the Reign could have made something there. Unfortunately, she pays the price for the ball getting caught on her foot and gets chopped down.
A little slow to get up. Now look, still standing still. We'll have to see if she's okay. Ellie Reed up to McDonald against her former team, Chicago Red Stars, was put on waivers and claimed off by Seattle. And ever since, she's looked very good. This is her 4th start, 5th appearance, and already has 3 goals for the Reign. The center making note of that hard challenge on there and just going to make sure she's okay. Would hate to burn a sub this early, but appears to be all right. Ellie Reed trying to feed it into Fishlock. Right there was Julianne Sitch. Now they're running back toward their own goal. Sonia Foose unable to keep it from going over from a corner. So Red Stars' defense panicking just a bit.
Looks like Kaylin Kyle wants to change her footwear. She's got there's a Reign assistant on the sideline with her old boots in his hand. Looks like she may not like those that have adjusted to those shiny new boots.
Corner at the far post. Did it go in? A penalty is given. We'll have to get a replay on that. It all happened so quickly. Arch toward the far post.
Well, apparently the boots are good enough to get her what very well could be another score for the Seattle Reign. Kaylin Kyle again getting on the end of a Megan Rapinoe corner, and looks like she's going to be the one to step up and take the PK.
And here is the replay. Into the 18 it goes, and it looked like it did go off a hand.
It'll be interesting to see what the referee is going to do here. Usually a handball on the line to save a goal will result in a red card ejection, but I haven't seen him go to his pocket.
Yeah, he already issued a caution. If you're correct, if it's denying a goal-scoring opportunity, it usually does have to be red. We saw a yellow. We'll get confirmation of who is issued to here momentarily.
Well, and I don't think you could say there's any way that wasn't denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
Still not much in the way of protest. Here is the penalty taken smartly. 2-0 to the Reign. Second penalty from Kaylin Kyle, and that'll be her 2nd goal of the year. Into the 21st we go. Reign have doubled their lead from the spot.
So I suspect she may want to keep those boots on after all. She steps up and just buries it in the lower left-hand corner. There's absolutely nothing McLeod can do about that whatsoever. Perfectly struck. Kaylin Kyle showing her calm, showing her composure, putting the Reign ahead 2-0.
Just sneaking it under the arm of Erin McLeod, under that right arm of hers. She guessed correctly as well. As the game kicks off yet again. 2-0 to the good for the home side. Both goals for Kaylin Kyle have come from the spot. And it was Adriana Leon with the caution, the Canadian. First booking of the match.
The Reign really need to lock things down here. This is where, Red Stars are going to have a lot of emotion. They're going to be angry at having given up a second goal. The Reign need to make sure that they hold possession here, relieve pressure when they can.
Leon trying to make amends after getting that booking.
Surprising that only resulted in the yellow.
Yeah, I would have to take a couple more looks at it, because I agree. If the caution was issued for the hand, that would have to be a straight red if it was going in the net, which I don't think that shot was going anywhere but the net. Nonetheless, Seattle still managing to double their advantage. I think we're going to get another look at it right here. Boy, perhaps the referee was thinking that was just going to go across the mouth and not cut in, as it clearly does hit Adriana Leon's hand, and you have to feel for her. I mean, this is the gray area right now in the sport. What is the definition of ball to hand?
Yeah, I mean, her hand's in a natural position. I think that's where the issue comes. I mean, the interpretation now is if the hand is in a natural position relative to the body, then it is not considered a handball. However, that ball was clearly headed across the line.
Ellie Reed with service. We're going to get another look at it, but it looks like Erin McLeod is shaken up a bit and is going to need some help after she collided with her defender. Here's one more look.
Yeah, that's a really tough call. Her arm is away from her body. It does seem to get a little bit extended.
The only question is then, was the trajectory of the ball curling in the net? If so, it has to be a straight red.
I think she should feel lucky she gets to continue on in this game.
Erin McLeod gets up, was just a bit shaken up. It looks like the call was offside as the referee has his hand raised. Another good opportunity there, and Ellie Reed with a pretty good-looking service as well.
Erin McLeod did well there. I mean, she was undercut by her own player. Tough to see her go down so hard, but she did well to come out strong, keep her focus on the ball, and hold on to it.
Dominguez showing her strength and composure, but finally getting that boot in was Ellie Reed. She's been a bright spot all over the field. Keelan Winters making the tackle there. Kaylin Kyle. Back to Reed.
You can see the Red Stars pressing a lot higher right now, wanting that win that ball in the Reign's half and go the short route to goal.
Well, David, we saw the huddle after that second Reign goal from the Red Stars, and as Dominguez is whistled for a foul on Fishlock. Nope, scratch that, reverse it. Fishlock whistled for a foul on Dominguez. And David, when you see your players going to huddle, you've coached for a lot of years. What is usually going on in that huddle?
Well, I'm sure Lori Chalupny was giving them an earful, telling them that, look, there's still plenty of time. We've got to get one back right now before halftime. Bring this game back under control because they need these points.
Foose with the free kick headed away. Second service. Half clearance from Kyle. Another chance for a crack in. This one from Wenino. Going toward the far post. Maribel Dominguez brings it down, touches it back to Leslie Osborne. Into the 18. A shot over the crossbar. Was it tipped? It was.
Just too many Red Stars players free in the box, unmarked. And you can see, again, that pressure is coming fast and furious at the Reign's goal mouth. They need to relieve some pressure, get the ball on the other side of the other end of the field.
Corner given here. It looks like they have options to take it short. Sitch is a short option. Chalupny standing over the ball, and they do take it short indeed. We saw the U.S. national team do that famously, the men's team, just on the weekend in their Gold Cup quarterfinal match. Also had a pretty good semifinal a night ago. The Reign do much better with that one than did the U.S. opposition. Also going on in big tournaments, the UEFA Women's Euro. Been following that tournament closely, and a little upset that Sweden was put out, the host. So plenty of good international football going on at the moment. Here's Chalupny, lays it off to the side, now sent in toward the 6. Kyle tries to get it away. Dominguez perhaps with a chance for a crack, trying to work around Ellie Reed. Good job by Reed to read it and get the half clearance. And the cleanup work taken care of by Emily Van Egmond. Yet again, showing that she has the composure to make those crucial tackles in critical positions.
The Reign are up against the ropes right now, though. They need to get a hold of the ball, keep it for a few touches, not turn it over in their own half of the field. Play the ball into space.
Rapinoe to Winters. Nice little interchange between Winters, Rapinoe, and Fishlock there. Out to the near side for Nairn.
This is just what the doctor ordered for the Reign. Keep the ball for a little bit.
Preferably keep it in that center third of the field or further down than that. Read up to McDonald. Nairn. Big switch.
It's a great job to find Fishlock over in the corner.
Trying to work her way around Rachel Quon. Quon gets the boot in, throw in.
This is exactly what the Reign need. Allow the Red Stars to sort of burn that energy off.
Appeals for handling. And it looks like the handling isn't what's given, but perhaps a foul.
I think the referee indicating
Leon.
that the foul's just outside the box. So it was a handball, but it's just outside the box.
Also looked like he was gesticulating with his elbow, so perhaps there's a little of that going on as well. So chance for a free kick in a very dangerous spot for the Reign. Rapinoe and Nairn standing over the ball. Rapinoe plays it short to Nairn, has it with the right foot. It's deflected over the byline for a corner. So as you mentioned, David, that was exactly what the doctor ordered. Some positive possession for the Reign after going up 2-0. Red Stars really started to find their form. Must be said, a good crowd here, but if you're looking on your screen, the good crowd's on the near side, and that's because it's still hot out there in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's beating down. You can see the players all shielding their eyes.
Toward the near post, Keelan Winters tried to get a head on it, wasn't able to, but now might have a second chance. Clearance is made good now, but only as far as Nairn. Up to Rapinoe. Tried toward the top of the 18 for Fishlock.
You know, the tough thing is, as tough as it is playing with the sun in your eyes like that, the really erratic shade that's on the field is tough too, because it's hard to pick up the spin of the ball, and the ball's going in and out of the shade, in and out of light. It gets bright, it gets dark. It's hard to focus on. Hard to control balls that are played into that box.
Here's Rapinoe. Not sure what the decision-making process was there. Perhaps just having a bit of fun. We've seen her strike it long before.
I mean, the thing with Megan is she is probably the most exciting attacking player in the world today. I mean, definitely in the United States.
Wouldn't argue with you there.
But maybe in the world. She's always, whenever the ball's on her foot, she's always looking to see how much pressure she can put the other team under. Whether that's going at somebody 1v1 or making a killer pass. She just wants to make them look foolish, and she wants to put them under just a tremendous amount of pressure. And there she just decided the most dangerous thing she could do at that moment was to take a shot on goal. Didn't come off quite like she wanted, but that's what's so great about her, is she has that attacking mentality.
Here's Chalupny. Speaking of someone with attacking mentality, shot save, the rebound. Great work by Kaylin Kyle. It fell kindly to her to keep it away from Inca Grings, and that was the best opportunity we have seen so far tonight for Chicago Red Stars.
Yeah, I think that's clearly it's one of the Red Stars' strengths is their ability to get forward in transition, and clearly the Reign are having a few issues with it. I mean, they need to tighten up when the ball's in transition. They need to keep the game in front of them and not allow gaps between them.
Third corner now to the visitors, dangerously at the top of the 16th. Pardon me, the top of the 6th. Ellie Reed getting a boot in, out for a throw. Pressure still on from the Red Stars. Half an hour gone. Fans being treated to a very entertaining opening of this match. There is Fishlock. Trying to get the counter going. They got numbers. 3-on-2.
Forward.
Options to her right.
Forward.
Options to her left. Plays it into Van Egmond. Boy, would she like to open her account now.
But again, that composure.
Sent in now.
Composure under a tremendous amount of pressure. She keeps the ball at her feet, draws all the defenders, and sprays the ball wide, allowing good service to come in.
Christine Nairn with that dangerous second cross. Here's Nairn once more. Trying to work her way past Rachel Quon. Finds Rapinoe. Shot. Right there is McLeod, but dangerously looming were a couple of the Seattle attackers, including Jessica McDonald, just wanted to tap that one in the back of the net. Sliding in there was Leslie Osborne. Adriana Leon, guilty of the handball that led to the Seattle second goal, also the only booking of the match. Goal came back in the 22nd minute. Rapinoe opened the account in the 6th. McDonald.
Ellie Reed with some great individual play to relieve some pressure there, bring the ball up the field and springless attack.
Van Egmond to Rapinoe. Back into Van Egmond. She's going to have a crack herself. What a strike, just always was going wide, but enough to make Erin McLeod think that it might have a chance.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, there's the contrast between Rapinoe and Van Egmond. Rapinoe going at the goal hard, early. But Van Egmond, looking to open her scoring account for the Seattle Reign, calmly and coolly turns the ball, looks up, has a good strike, and just misses. A little high and a little wide.
Van Egmond, quite the journeyman, only at the age of 20, playing in the W League in Australia, played for several different clubs. Interesting that the W League only plays a 12-game regular season, but nonetheless has already had lots of success both at the club and the youth and senior national levels. Looking to bring that here to the Pacific Northwest. Welcome all the listeners once more. Landyn Rookard alongside David Wharton. Especially those from Chicago. We know you support your team well, especially if you're tuning in at this late hour. And they've been around a lot of years and done a lot of good things. Pressure there from Inca Grings, including advancing to the championship game of WPSL Elite a year ago and losing to Western New York Flash. Did a wonderful job as a 4 seed in the postseason there. It's been fun to watch over the years. Here's Wenino with the throw. David, to Chicago's credit, they have had the foot on the pedal really since conceding that second goal.
Well, they know they need this game. They know this game's important to them.
Uh-oh. Faulty clearance there from Stephanie Cox, unable to make her pay, was Adriana Leon.
That's a little bit of that rust showing up for Stephanie. But yeah, the Red Stars are going to battle all the way to the end. They need every single point that they can get from this weekend. It's been said that they need 4 points this weekend. They got another game coming, I believe, on Saturday. And so they need to at least get a tie out of this. So they're going to keep pressing and pressing and pressing.
Both teams with 4 shots on target here through 35, just to give you an idea of how hard the Red Stars have been pressing. That equates to 4 saves for Hope Solo, with a 1.22 goals against average coming into today. Would love to get that clean sheet. Seattle, one of 2 teams in the league without a single clean sheet. Washington being the other. And they're at the bottom of the table. Favorites for a wooden spoon, if you want to phrase it that way. Which is a pity because they have some phenomenal support out there in Washington as well.
Absolutely.
Good crowds.
It's a franchise that's done well for itself over the years, and it's too bad to see them at the bottom of the table, but someone's got to be there, unfortunately.
Advantage called as Winters fouled and the whistle blows, and I actually like to see that. Advantage called, and the foul duly called on Keelan Winters. Only the 3rd foul committed by the Reign. Total of 5 for the Red Stars. Again, Rapinoe and Kyle, the goal scorers. Kyle from the mark just over 10 minutes ago. Free kick then from Foos toward the 18. There's Grings. Back across. That was a bit of fancy work from Adriana Leon that doesn't quite pay off. Reign get the clearance.
They need to get up and get out so the Red Stars can't counter.
McLeod away. It's a big one for the Reign to win. They only have one more home match. It's the penultimate home match for the Reign. The next 4 out of their last 5 are on the road against some pretty tough tasks as well. Here's Ellie Reed. Good one-touch pass between her and Van Egmond is good to get away from pressure and find Nairn. Driven ball into the 18. Foos heads it away. Some sustained pressure causes a turnover. There's Keelan Winters. They're trying to pick out Dominguez, who looked ready to run. Nairn tries a one-touch pass. Brought down, no foul called. As going to ground was Jessica McDonald. Dominguez heading it forward. This could be dangerous. What a clearance. Appeals for dangerous play. And instead, the foul goes against the Red Stars.
Yeah, that was well done. That's another one of those sort of quick counterattacks where there's only 2 or 3 Reign players back and they're defending while backpedaling. Makes things very, very tough on them.
Grings and Dominguez trying to hook up. As I mentioned, Grings is actually the third all-time scorer on the German national team list. In Germany, a team with storied history. Still only 1 goal through 10 for the Red Stars since joining. Foul whistled, as you can see the tug of the jersey.
Good choice here by the Reign to sort of slow things down, get their composure back.
Hasn't been a remarkably physical game. Reign have done a good job bending but not breaking, and certainly probably a large part of that is due to the play of Hope Solo. Here's Ellie Reed, chipped in. It's going to go over the mouth of the goal. Red Stars with one more tough match coming up on the weekend here in the Northwest Swing. Head to Portland Thorns. That's a Sunday match.
Yeah, I think I said it was on a Saturday. It's a Sunday game.
That's right. Yeah, they try to give them that extra day here when they have to make these big swings and play 2 games in the space of a week. Probably a good call. That was actually one of the controversial aspects about this league. WPS, the predecessor top league, allowed 4 substitutions to deal with that congested schedule as a foul was whistled against Adriana Leon. Here in WSL, only 3 subs allowed, which is the traditional. But, David, I want to know your thoughts on this. These players have to play a lot of games in short space. Why not the 4 substitution rule?
Well, I mean, I think they want to stay in line with the international calendar and the international rules. And it's a standard set of rules, and every league in the world has this kind of congestion, whether it's the English Premier League or Women's Professional League. And why should it be any different here? The European teams have to play Wednesday, Saturday. The MLS teams who are playing in the Open Cup have to play Wednesday, Saturday. Why should it be any different for the women here in the United States?
Trying to link up on the far side. Adriana Leon, again, the target. 2 teams in form coming into today. Seattle, with only 4 goals through their first 10, have scored 12 since then, and including today, have scored 14 goals. Fishlock over to the near side, Ellie Reed. Decides to pull it back to Fishlock. Patient play, patient build-up. Players calling for it. Picks out Rapinoe. We saw her hand go up, and of course, when she calls for it, she's going to get it. 1 touch return from Emily Vong Egmond. Shot goes wide.
Well, this is the difference in the Reign since some of the new players have come in. I mean, when you saw them early in the season, they didn't look confident. They weren't sure where they were supposed to play the ball, how they were supposed to play forward. They were still a team in development. Now they're playing with some confidence. They're playing balls at angles, making runs off the ball, knowing the ball is going to be delivered to them. They have that assurance, and it looks like they feel confident that they can press the other team.
Trying for a through ball, doesn't quite get there as Barnes was there. Dominguez bearing down, gets away to Winters. And there's a foul whistled as Winters is infringed upon. And David, Megan Rapinoe is one of those players where if she calls for the ball, no matter where she is, it would take a brave soul to not try to pick her out.
Well, and she's the other, the kind of player who her teammates are looking to get the ball. They know how much more dangerous they are when the ball's on her foot. And everybody has the confidence not only in that she can create for herself, but that she's going to create for them as well, and that she's going to honor the hard work that they do, the runs that they make off the ball, and play something. If it's on, play something that's going to put them in a position to be successful. So everybody wants her to have the ball because she not only does great things, but she makes the players around her that much better.
Rapinoe just stumbling over the ball a bit and gives it up. Good job tracking back from Cox. Still a scrum going over there on the far side. Working hard is Lori Chalupny. Finally, Rapinoe able to win out to McDonald. Here's Rapinoe. Tries to slide it into Fishlock. It's a race to the byline. Shielded away. Out it goes. Jackie Santacaterina doing her job. That's a fun name to say. Good mixture if you look up and down the Chicago lineup of veterans and young talent. Unfortunately, without U.S. soccer legend Shannon Box, who's been out for a while, and on the more veteran side of things. And then on the younger side of things, without Zakia Bywaters, who's their first-round college draft pick. And also without Taryn Hemmings, who's going to miss the whole year after tearing her ACL and MCL. So some big big absences there on this Red Stars team, and that would certainly make a difference in a game like this.
Well, allocations have been the big story for both of these squads. I mean, it's been the big story for the Reign, certainly. I think a lot of the Seattle fans know the story there, with Hope being injured and Megan Rapinoe being off in France. But it's been equally difficult for the Chicago Red Stars with the injuries that they've had, Shannon Box out. You know, these U.S. national team players have a major, major impact on the field when they play. And to not have one for the majority of the season, it's really going to limit your opportunities.
Shannon Box only made appearances in 2 games. Van Egmond doing a good job working hard to work it to Rapinoe. It ends up being cleared out. Initially thought for a corner. It looked to me like it was a throw. That is the correct call made. Fishlock can't keep the ball, and it's cleared away. Here's Barnes. Good work there by Wenino. Just cutting it out, standing in the passing lane. Dominguez to Osborne. Now they're able to get it up. The pass is too long. They're just missing that connection. Our Chicago Red Stars. 44th minute. Ray Moffitt Jr., the 4th official, will be showing us the extra time here in about a minute. Can't imagine there'll be much. Long ball to Rapinoe. Trying to work around Rachel Quon. Good work by Quon there.
Well, and don't forget the other U.S. national allocated player for the Chicago Red Stars is Keelan Winters, now playing for the Seattle Reign. Again, Coach Laura Harvey saying to us before the game, she's not sure they would have traded her away had they known that Shannon Box was going to be out for so much of the year. She certainly would have made a difference for this Red Stars team.
And insult to injury with the other absences we mentioned, especially Taryn Hemming. She really become a stalwart in that back line for Red Stars. I think added a lot to the organization, and that really hasn't been there at times here in this match.
You can see that the Reign are able to get the ball and are really finding gaps and really finding spaces, and it's really tough for this Red Stars team to track the runners because the Reign players are so dynamic and so confident right now.
Clever ball played over the top by Santacaterina. Again running long. 45th minute. 30 seconds of regular time remaining here in the first frame. Couple of goals from the Reign put them ahead 2-0. First one coming in the 6th off a set piece. Taken hard by Rapinoe, just a rocket low. The second coming from the mark by Kaylin Kyle. She seems to be the one to step up and take those penalties too. Good for her. You might expect it to be a name like Rapinoe or someone like that, but no, it's Kaylin Kyle doing the duties from the mark the past couple times.
I think she thought, that was supposed to be my goal. That came off my head. This is going to be my goal one way or another.
The 4th official holding up the board indicating 1 minute. Not much at a time because there hasn't been many stoppages. Really been a fluid first half. Officials largely let things go. Been really an enjoyable first half. Both teams trading chances. Sometimes you see the first half cagey, but when you keep talking about it, both teams have really nothing to lose and everything to gain. Trying to shield it away is Barnes over the byline with pressure from Inka Grings. That's a good job. Now it's away. Here's Reed. Gotta imagine we're nearing that halftime whistle. To Van Egmond and back. Content just to possess, but with Red Stars pressing hard as well, you don't want to play with it too much in your own third.
Yeah, the Reign have shown a disturbing tendency to turn the ball over in just about that position, just about even with the bottom of the circle.
And the referee doing one of my favorite things when you have a possible foul that you could call, just blowing it dead for a halftime. At the break, it's Seattle Reign Football Club 2, Chicago Red Stars 0. And David, I want to get your thoughts on that first half. First, from the Chicago side of things, you know they need the win. They come off a 1-0 victory at Washington where the only goal is an own goal, and they have some work to do, but certainly nothing that they couldn't come back from. What does Rory Dames have to say in the locker room?
Well, they've definitely run into an in-form Reign team. The Reign got on them very, very early, created a couple of chances, and were able to capitalize on one of them, and that left them pressing up the field, pressing high up the field, trying to get it back really early on. And those chances came for them. Again, they were able to run at that Seattle back line, open some gaps, play some balls in. But the rain were able to expose them again as they created some space at the back, and it resulted in a couple of corner kicks. Those corner kicks, that last corner kick turned into a penalty kick, turned into a second rain goal, and now the Chicago Red Stars are really behind the 8 ball.
And quickly on the other side of the ball for Seattle Reign FC, they've really played some pretty football at times, did give up some chances, but you got to imagine that for Coach Laura Harvey, it's going to be more of the same in the locker room.
Well, the focus for her has got to be on that shutout. I mean, again, they have yet to have a shutout yet this season, and they're giving up a lot of chances. She obviously is not going to complain going into that halftime with a 2-goal lead, but she's going to want to tighten things up at the back.
Let's take a look real quick at some of that action here from the first half. We have some highlights queued up for you before we go to break. First of all, what a strike here from Megan Rapinoe, getting her 3rd goal of, we're going to go to the penalty first. So there's Caitlin Kyle with her 2nd, just took it confidently.
And that's a classically taken penalty. I mean, the keeper guessed the right way and extended, but where, with the pace she hit it and the angle she hit it, there's absolutely no way McLeod was going to be able to get to it.
Action at the first half as the fans enjoy the Blue Thunder drumline out there on the pitch. A nice addition here for halftime. It's 2-0 to the good for the home side. They lead Chicago Red Stars at the break. Halftime here at Starfire Stadium in Tukwila, Washington, home of Seattle Reign FC, where the Reign lead Chicago Red Stars by a tally of 2-0, courtesy of a strike from Megan Rapinoe and a Kaylin Kyle penalty kick. And we have a chance to look at some of the highlights from that first half. Some of the action. There's a wicked cross sent in, the first real opportunity of the match.
Seattle Reign putting pressure on the Chicago Red Stars goal from the get-go, and Megan Rapinoe is taken down just at the edge of the box.
And here's that classy strike, low hard penalty, and David, that what a shot that was.
Well, you could see as Megan Rapinoe dances in celebration there. Jess Fishlock had made a run across and really distracted her in McLeod.
There's another effort from distance from Megan Rapinoe. Kind of been the Rapinoe show in a way. She's had 5 cracks at goal. 3 of them have been on target.
And there's that Red Stars handball right on the goal line. Saskatchewan's own Kaylin Kyle stepping up to take the penalty and put the Reign up by 2.
And did she bury that? That was her second of the year, both from the mark. And I thought we'd take a moment, since we're just have a few seconds before second half. Talk Twitter really quick. You're on Twitter. You're at D. Wharton, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm at LWROOK, LW Rook. We invite you to follow us on both. And I understand that, and also, of course, follow Seattle Reign FC at Seattle Reign FC. And I understand that you have a couple questions, David, that you have from your Twitter followers.
No, we're just, if you guys want to submit some questions to at Seattle Reign FC, then we'd be happy to answer them. So go ahead and tweet those questions at us, and we'll do our best to get at them during the second half.
The players taking the pitch for the start of the second half. Good chance to get some statistics really quick. Seattle with 4 shots on target. As well as Chicago with 4 shots on target. Seattle with 9 total, Chicago with 6 total. Corner kicks 4-3 in favor of Seattle. Foul count, Chicago with 9, Seattle with 3, and each with an offside flag apiece. Just 1 caution, and that was controversial at best to Adriana Leon on the handling that resulted in the Kaylin Kyle penalty.
Well, yeah, she gets a yellow card for it, but I mean, that ball's crossing the end line, and we said at the time, that traditionally is a sending off, but the referee elected to just show her the yellow and play on.
2-0 the score stand, as you can see the players making their way out once more for 45 more minutes. Very entertaining first half. As far as the football is concerned, David, enjoyable, no?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've seen end-to-end action. You could tell from the number of shots, both teams very, very even. Both teams committed to attacking soccer. And there have been some gaps that have been opened up as a result, so the other team's able to counter very, very quickly. It's made for some exciting soccer. The Reign have gotten the better of the chances, obviously have done well with their set pieces. With the ball going out over the end line and the free kick, obviously, from the top of the box. But the Red Stars certainly have been getting after the Seattle Reign, and as we said right before the break, those gaps are opening up. Sometimes the Seattle Reign backline stays in really good shape, but they don't necessarily mark when the ball gets into the box. And that's where you need to be committed to winning the 1v1 battles, making sure everybody's marked up, and the Reign haven't been getting tight enough early enough. We'll have to see whether in the second half the Red Stars can exploit that. These
2 teams getting to know each other very well. The way the format works, you play 3 teams 4 times, 2 teams 3 times, and 2 teams 2 times. That makes up your 22-match schedule. It's a third of 4 meetings. Seattle 1-1 draw at the first. That's the first match of the season for both. 3-1 win here on June 29th, and the score very much looked like this. Seattle went up 2-0. Chicago pulled one back before Seattle really found a way to bury it 3-1. And the trick here, David, is to find a way to not let Chicago pull back like they did the first time here.
Well, Chicago's going to come out with just tremendous amount of energy. I mean, again, we said at the beginning of the game they got their backs against the wall. If at all possible, they're pushed even farther up against the wall now. They're going to have to come out with a lot of energy. They can't save it for Sunday. They need to get points tonight. So Seattle's got to be very aware of that and play very, very smartly. And when they get the ball, they need to be able to play it forward, but keep possession. As I said right before half, they've shown sort of a tendency throughout the season to turn the ball over right at about the bottom of the circle, which is just enough space for a counter-attacking team to get at you really, really fast. And it hasn't been the Reign have not been able to keep a clean sheet this season.
The road ahead, not kind to the Stars. They are on the road to Portland on Sunday. Then they return home for the return fixture of this nice little home and home for Seattle. That'll be the fourth and final meeting between the two teams. And then they have to face some stalwarts at the tail end as the second half whistle blows. We are underway. 45 more minutes of NWSL soccer here to be played at Starfire. The Reign in their blue kits, right to left. White tops, blue bottoms for Chicago Red Stars, going left to right. Actually, one of my favorite kits, probably easily my favorite kit in the league, is the Chicago Red Stars with the Red Stars on it. Kind of a generic kits for all teams in this inaugural season. A little creativity for Chicago. Foose with the ball in toward the 6. Ellie Reed heading it over the byline. It's for a bit of safety and a reprieve, and right off the opening whistle, Red Stars with the corner.
And this is what happened in the first half with the Reign having the ball down in the Red Stars' end right away, and Chicago trying to turn the tables here.
Julian Sitch away by Kaylin Kyle. Only as far as Rachel Quon sends it in, head on and right into the stomach of Hope Solo by Maribel Dominguez.
And there you go again. It's an unmarked player running through the box. Again, the Reign doing a good job of keeping their shape relative to one another. They're staying composed, but you got players running through the box and nobody's picking them up. Somebody needs to go and put some pressure on her and at least make it hard for Dominguez to get the ball on goal.
Fifth save for Hope Solo, who admittedly hasn't had a ton to do, but when she's been called on, has been stout and equal to the task. There's a turnover, giveaway. Lori Chalupny works up the far side to Inca Grings. Good job rolling in this lateral movement. Takes out Sitch, gets it on her left foot, takes a deflection and hit it away, but not out. No second opportunity there as Keelan Winters gets the clearance. Getting tangled up. It's Maribel Dominguez trying to win it.
Ellie Reed needs to go into that tackle with a bit more force. She tried to finesse it, wound up turning the ball over.
Lori Chalupny unable to get a cross in. Sonia Foose. I know we've only played two and a half minutes here in the second half, but Seattle haven't had more than 2 or 3 touches on the ball.
Well, and it's telling that you got McDonald basically inside her own 18-yard box trying to play the ball. That's not where you want her having the ball on her feet.
Jessica Fishlock trying to take control. The near flank, Rapinoe's going to make haste, try to get to that one. There is Sonia Foose back to her keeper, McLeod. Outlets to Quon. There's Fishlock again, having no problem reading the direct Chicago passes. Rapinoe. Good job by Quon to win out.
It's just so easy to underestimate how quick Jessica Fishlock's feet are. She's able to just dart in and intercept that ball. I think the Red Stars thought they were going to easily be able to slot that by her, and she just calmly stepped in, win it, and then play it away.
Continuing to rolling into the 18, now hitting the deck. Trying to see who that was. Did a good job to get into the 18. It was Adriana Leon, I believe.
Stephanie Cox being a little cavalier, a little with the ball down by her own goal line. Trying to shepherd it out. When she couldn't, she tried to bring it back in and was stripped.
The field almost entirely in shade now. Will be a nice reprieve. It's been a hot northwest day, certainly by Seattle standards. Of course, Hope Solo no longer having to look into the sun like she did the first half. Clear that Seattle lost the toss.
Yeah, we native Seattleites have been melting over the last couple of weeks.
Luckily, I'm from Eastern Washington. I don't have that problem. Living in the rain shadow of the Cascades. A lot of fans get on the assistance for throwing up that flag late. That is the directive from FIFA and worldwide. That is what is done because you have to be involved in the play for the flag to go up. So it ends up seeming like it's late, but really it's right when it should be. Chalupny's run cut short. The ball booted into the stands. No fans, you don't get to keep it. Not like baseball where it's a couple dollars, maybe $1 a ball. Seattle throw near their own corner. Clearance. Fishlock tries to keep it in. Wasn't able to do so.
Seattle's spending a lot of time in their own end right now. Not really being tested by Chicago at the moment, but the closer the ball is to your own goal, the more chances you're going to give up. Like to see the Reign latch a hold of this, get it out, and keep possession in the Red Stars' half.
5 minutes of play, 5.5 minutes of play here in the second half, and probably 30 seconds of the ball in Chicago's half of the field. Now here's a chance. Van Egmond perhaps get a counter going, sends it out to the other side for Ellie Reed. Tries to lead Jessica McDonald. Good job with the cleanup work. Was Michelle Wenino, and there's a collision in the middle of the park. And being called over forward is Kaylin Kyle. Here's a replay of what was a pretty hard hit. Just both going up for the ball, and
Kaylin Kyle really committed to. Yeah, she committed to win that ball, and she went in hard and came in over the top of the Chicago Red Stars player. And I think it looked a little worse than it was, but there's no question that needed to be a foul.
Yeah, once the arm comes up ever so slightly, the referee is always going to blow his whistle, even if the intent isn't there.
He's done a really good job. I think early on there was a chance that the game could get a little bit emotional, could get a little bit out of control, and every time it seems to be headed that way, he steps in, he has a word with the players, lets them know that he's got his eye on them, and that sort of settles things down.
Another corner here from Chicago. Yeah, hasn't gone card crazy, hasn't gone whistle crazy. Largely the game has been able to flow. Another corner opportunity here for the Red Stars, looking to crawl their way back into this match. Only 12 fouls in the first half. That ball right at Hope Solo.
It's a good job for Hope to track that ball down in traffic. It wasn't the most, it was a little too close to her. That cross was just a little too close to her, and a player of her caliber is going to come down with that every single time.
The right side is the side of choice at the moment, as Ellie Reed leaves it. For Nairn now back to Winters, and all the way back to Lauren Barnes. Has a crack forward, giving chases Megan Rapinoe. First time's in, no one making that far post run.
That's a fantastic ball. It's unfortunate that nobody was there to get on the end of it. It would have been a beautiful header.
You would think with any time you see Rapinoe on the ball, you would sprint as fast as possible to that location. I can't. It's almost as if no one thought that she'd even keep it in. We all knew better up here.
Yeah.
Rapinoe perhaps a bit hopeful on that, trying to hook up with McDonald there. It's been good to see McDonald play so well, giving the Reign more attacking options and making the opposing teams think twice before double teaming the likes of Fishlock and Rapinoe.
Rapinoe's had 3 or 4 balls like that today where she's been trying to hit the ball over distance and it hasn't quite come off properly. I think that last shot was actually supposed to be across. You could see her throw her hand up afterwards. The dead legs might be coming from a long French season and now a bunch of games in the NWSL. She might be starting to feel just a little bit leg weary.
Yeah, that's a good point. She has logged a ton of games over the course of
Here she is in space. If we can get the ball out to her diagonally.
Big switch. Watch her go to work here against Rachel Quon. Fishlock, 2 on the same page. Oh, faked cross made Julianne Sitch jump. Picks out Rapinoe, has a crack. Deflected into the arms of McLeod.
And if the Reign can keep the score right here for longer, you're going to see more opportunities like that open up as the Red Stars press forward to try and get a goal back. They're going to be able to have those opportunities where they get that big switch and they're able to go at the Red Stars at speed.
Here's Inca Grings into Adriana Leon. Back to Grings, sent in, and another corner for Red Stars, and that's just too easy. And work their way all the way to the 6, all the way to the byline, and
Yeah, there's got to be a little more sense of urgency in defending for the Reign. I mean, it was a good job by Kalen Kyle and Keelan Winters to close down on the near post and not allow that ball through. But as you said, I mean, just a little bit casual as the Red Stars are ticky-tacking that ball through the 18-yard box.
Julian Sitch with a close option. That's Lori Chalupny. Fortunately, hasn't gotten nearly as many national team games as she should have with a concussion history. Ball sent in away from the post. Nairn was grabbing a bit of water. Now she's going to come back and help out with the defense as Foose sends it in. Trying to settle is Maribel Dominguez. Again, that Seattle defense holding true. And we look over at the far sideline, David, and we're going to see a double substitution, it looks like, for Chicago.
Emily Van Egmond just does not play like a 20-year-old. Her composure and her smarts on the ball are just well beyond a player who is 20 years old, that's for sure.
I'm guessing with the subs waiting, that's an indication that Rory Dames is not happy with how the Red Stars are doing at the moment.
Well, they need goals, and they need goals now.
There's Keelan Winters. Good tackle in from Maribel Dominguez. Aids with the clearance. That is a certain whistle as Inca Grings takes a tug. Here's an interesting question. Perhaps coming through Twitter, any info on how international allocations might change next year in NWSL? David, I'm going to defer to you because this is a topic of discussion. I don't think they've decided anything.
Well, I mean, it would be a little premature. I'm sure they're talking about what went well and what didn't go well. I mean, these are two teams that have clearly been affected by allocations, and they're I think, going to be Team 1 and Team 2 in the discussions when it comes to how best to allocate players. So the Portland Thorns situation on the other end of the spectrum being another example of something. I know that the league wants to make sure that there's balance and there's parity, but I don't think they're ready to make any decisions just yet.
A couple of changes. That's what's prolonging the free kick. Jen Hoy came on for Dominguez, as the ball sent in. Head on it. Is that going to carry over? It does. Oh, it's tipped off the McDonald corner to the Red Stars. Masser on, Sitch off, Dominguez off, and Hoy on. So again, Jen Hoy making her debut in this game, as is Ella Masser, who has 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. Perhaps a little surprising that she wasn't in the starting 11. As Red Stars continue to press. The double change from Chicago, as you mentioned, very offensive-minded indeed. Sent in looking for our post right there, as she has been all game, is Hope Solo.
But yeah, as the league matures a little bit, I think we're going to see more and more players from overseas wanting to come over here. And the real question is, how do we make sure that those players get distributed equitably?
There's a hard foul in the Reign's half as Kaylin Kyle goes down. Those changes as we see a replay of the jersey tug and then the trip.
Yeah, Kaylin seems to be at the center of a lot of these more dramatic fouls, where you certainly with that long blonde ponytail, you see her go flying and you can see it a mile away.
And those changes bringing on a bit of youth, as Jen Hoy is just 22 years of age. Here she is making her first impact on the game, tries to send a ball in.
I think these changes do 2 things. Obviously, they give you fresh legs, and they allow you to run at the Reign maybe a little bit more and press a little bit higher. The other thing they do is it saves a couple of players who you know you're going to need to get a result down in Portland. So you want to make sure that you've got some folks with some fresh legs and see if you can catch lightning in a bottle here and get 2 goals back with some younger players.
Van Egmond working away from Chalupny. Bit of a slower pace at the moment. Keelan Winters doing a good job collecting in the center. Passes it behind Fishlock. Dooley pauses to collect and tripped up. Nothing in that from Lori Chalupny. Just mistimed it, and Fishlock paying the price. Slamming that right foot into the turf.
I mean, Jess turned the ball really, really cleverly there, and Lori had stuck a foot out hoping to get a hold of the ball, and when Jessica turned away from her, she wound up just catching her in the ankle. As you said, nothing in that. That doesn't make Jessica Fishlock's ankle feel any better.
Chalupny's an experienced player. She's not going to go around hacking down players. Center having a word with her. Nah, I suppose that's just to
Again, it's just kind of helping settle things down.
Exactly.
Making sure emotions don't get the better of these players.
It's not as though Chalupny's going to run around hacking players down, though. Despite the fact that she did come into today committing most fouls.
No, but what it does is says to the Reign players that he's got the game under control and that they don't need to take matters into their own hands.
Here's Rapinoe. He's got 3 stars on her. Finding Kaylin Kyle. Up to Rapinoe. In toward the 6. And a corner for the Reign. And it looks like just Fishlock is still nursing perhaps her ankle just a bit. Hopefully it's not a cause of concern. Amazing job the Reign have done at keeping healthy. Not a single player out due to injury at the moment. Crowd really getting into it now as Rapinoe raises her left hand, ready to take the corner. Off the head of Keelan Winters, up over the crossbar.
That's a good job by Keelan fighting for that ball in traffic. It was always going to be a spectacular goal if she was able to flip that backwards over her head and drive it past the keeper, but she did the best she could with it.
Again, really a good crowd gathered here for a Thursday night. Pretty much everyone here on the near side. The main grandstand, as it were. People love to stand over by Hope Solo's goal. Not too many places in the world you can stand that close to the best goalie in the world. Certainly not at international matches. Here's Jen Hoy. Has looked good since her introduction, but not quite on the same page as Quon. Still trying to work with Quon. There was Fishlock. Rapinoe. Got a couple options. Picks out Van Egmond, just not quite there.
That's unfortunate. If that ball gets to Emily Van Egmond's feet, they are 3-on-3 with the back line. And she would have had options to spring into McDonald wide on the right side or Nairn sprinting through on the left.
Looks like the Reign are getting ready to make their first change.
Looks like Liz Bogus is going to come on here.
Just solidify their possession a bit. Was good at hanging on to the ball.
Well, and she's got such a great work rate. I mean, she just frustrates the other team. She's always going to outwork the player next to her, and she's going to win those 1v1 battles.
Rapinoe again working over Quon, picks out Keelan Winters, switches on over to McDonald. Good quick switch with 1- and 2-touch passes. Run from Ellie Reed. Slided out. Looks like the substitution will be taken now. Not quite. And it's Jessica McDonald who she'll be replacing. Thrown touched back to Ellie Reed from McDonald. Haven't made that change yet. All the way back to Solo. For all intents and purposes, this is Van Egmond's first game for the Reign. Made short appearances off the bench twice and over an hour of NWSL soccer, and I think, David, she's shown that she belongs up here.
Absolutely. I mean, again, she does such a good job of solidifying that midfield. She's a great complement to both Keelan Winters and Jessica Fishlock. She kind of has that composure and balance that helps the three of them to work together.
On the ball now, picks out Rapinoe. After some good interchange between Cox and Van Egmond, and the cross effort goes out for a corner. Now we're going to have that substitution. So Jessica McDonald will exit here in the 64th.
Let's see if Liz Bogus can pull an Eddie Johnson and just run right on the field and score off of the corner.
15 seconds after coming off of the bench. What a genius substitution.
He never broke stride. That was the amazing thing. I mean, he just ran onto the field, kept running, and the ball hit him in the head and went in the goal.
Seattle fans hoping he'll keep up that form after he returns after Sunday's Gold Cup final for the Seattle Sounders, who are trying to find ways to score goals. Kind of a swap of fortunes with the Reign really hitting their stride as the Sounders are trying to overcome some obstacles. Rapinoe's corner. Kaylin Kyle had on it. Keelan Winters just up over the corner, right over that up 90 for a goal kick.
Well, and that's been the Reign's corner kick all game long. I think they've Rapinoe's driven that ball back post to Kaylin Kyle every single time. The first couple of times it didn't work out, but now she heads it back across the face of the goal, which is what that play is designed to do. And there's Kaylin Winters to try and drive it in at the near post.
25 minutes remaining here at Starfire. Both goals coming in the first half. First one really early, 6th minute. Rapinoe off a set piece. Kaylin Kyle off of a spot kick. Chicago Red Stars still looking to connect in that final third. They have had chances. They've had many corners. You would think they would be more threatening from those. With the Reign defense bending and not breaking, looking for that first clean sheet. What a relief that would be to get talking heads like you and I off their backs if they can get that here tonight.
But look at this. I mean, even with Jessica Fishlock pushed back, you've got 6 Red Stars pressing on the Seattle Reign back line.
McLeod away. First to the ball was Cox. Touchdown right to Van Egmond by Christine Nairn. Tried to send it outside. Foos up to Inka Grings, the two former German internationals, both of them with over a decade of experience at the international level. Both of them now just playing club football. Both 34 years of age, so you got to imagine they know each other quite well. Definitely an asset to this Red Stars team, even if it hasn't worked out quite as planned as of yet. The pass forward from Chalupny. Offside flag goes up. Inka Grings just on the wrong side.
Oh, we're inside at 25 minutes to go, and you see the Red Stars starting to push numbers forward, push numbers forward, push numbers forward. And as the Seattle Reign defense can win that ball, play it in the midfield, they'll be able to counter really, really quickly and open things up at the back. And if they can get another goal, then it's lights out for Chicago, I'm afraid.
Well, as Laura Harvey told us before the match, and as you and I both know, it's not like this Red Stars team isn't a quality team. They're one place out of the playoffs for a reason. You got to expect that they're going to come at you down 2 goals for 20 minutes to go. You got to expect that. It's how you deal with that. That will have been talked about at length in the locker room. Here's Adriana Leon. Away by Winters. Settled to Leslie Osborne. Good challenge in. Gives the ball right back to the Reign. Rapinoe through midfield. Doesn't connect. And Sonia Foos was waiting for the contact, and it didn't come. Another giveaway, though, by the Red Stars. Into the 18 it goes. Stepping away. Rapinoe. She have the brace. Yes! 3-0 to the Reign, and this game put to rest here in the 68th.
That's just great awareness by Megan Rapinoe to jump onto that little back pass in the box.
Yeah, the slide tackle and just not able to get it away from Nairn's effort.
Just trying to lay it back to McLeod, and unfortunately for her, Rapinoe's able to jump on it. Once she gets around the keeper, there's no chance she's going to miss that.
So the biggest defensive miscue probably of the game comes at the worst possible time for Chicago Red Stars. And the balance of play was probably about 50-50, but an errant back pass, and Megan Rapinoe has the class and pedigree to make her pay and has her brace here tonight. First goal from the run of play here in the game. Reign up now 3-0. Those 2 goals coming for Rapinoe 62 minutes apart.
It's as you said. I mean, the Chicago Red Stars have played well. It's a quality team. They're gonna if they don't wind up making the playoffs, they're gonna look back on their games with the Seattle Reign and be a little frustrated that they didn't do better, because these games are probably the difference between them and a playoff spot.
Appeals for a foul as the Reign player is down. Foul wasn't given, but sportingly played out, of course, per the protocol. Nairn up a bit slowly. Reaching, looks like for her calf or ankle area. Rapinoe giving the ball sportingly back to the Red Stars. Very quick stoppage here as we're now in the 70th minute of play. That was really the boost the Reign needed. 2-0 is never a safe score. 3-0 makes you feel a lot better, David.
Yeah, I mean, the Reign have got to feel confident right now. It's frustrated, and with the Red Stars feeling equally frustrated.
Looking to try to pick up Jen Hoy. Gets away from one defender, rolling now into the 18, even with the 6.
But you're never out of it in this game. I mean, all it takes is one goal and get the Reign back on their heels, and the Red Stars will feel like they might be able to get back in it still.
Away by Cox. Here's Foose for the Red Stars. Red Stars, I'd say perhaps look on the dejected side. Everyone's sitting over there in their technical area. It look like they're going to make their third and final substitution. Throw caution to the winds here with still 20 minutes to go. Two teams, as we've said, coming in good form. Foul's going to be wrestled against Rapinoe. Home crowd doesn't like it as Rachel Quon, takes a tumble.
Well, Megan has no off switch. I mean, the thing with her is, again, you got that mentality where you're looking to break down the other team. You don't care what the score is. You don't care what the time is, and she's going to go in hard. Fortunately, Rachel Quon paid the price there.
And Jessica Fishlock, we didn't see anything happen recently. She took a little trip earlier from Lori Chalupny. I wonder if she's finally going to have to come out of the game. A top-notch team like her, a top-notch player like her doesn't just sit down willingly as the Red Stars make their third and final substitution.
Yeah, it's that same ankle they're looking at. I mean, it's clearly bothering her at this point.
Michelle Wenino coming out and Alyssa Motts coming in. The defender for the midfield forward cross-listed player. And Jessica Fishlock just sat down and waved on the physio, and on came the physiological staff. And it looks like Fishlock is going to walk off the near side of the pitch for a change.
And the Reign will start warming up a couple players on the off chance that she needs a substitution.
And I can't imagine she wouldn't, if for no other reason as a precaution. It looks like Renee Cuellar is warming up along with Kate Dinas. And that's a tough break for the Reign. Luckily, they have a week to try to heal up before she will be called upon again, especially when they're at their finest with everyone healthy. You don't want that to happen. And it looks like a penalty is going to be given as getting her hand in the way. Try to see who it was who it bounced up on. It's Lauren Barnes. Penalty to the Red Stars here in the 73rd. And right as things feel like they're getting locked up, as Fishlock is back onto the pitch, it's a chance here for the Red Stars. Hope Solo, that face of steel with her hands on her knees, not yet with her heels on the goal line. Just a ball played in, and
well, this is the third penalty I think that Hope's had to face since she's come onto the Reign.
two of them from Abby Walbach. Inca Grings save! Grings couldn't put it past Hope Solo. She guessed correctly. What a moment that is. You can hear this Starfire complex going wild in support of the home keeper. Here's a replay. Goes to her left.
Yeah, the ball struck a little bit high. I mean, you wanted to make the keeper have to get down to the ground, but it struck a little bit high. Hope goes to the right side, gets her hands on it, brings it down, and preserves that shutout for the Seattle Reign.
Solo knows people have been talking about that clean sheet. She wants that clean sheet and stops German ace Inca Grings. But another chance, and there it is. They pull back to within two on a startling counter from the Red Stars.
And that's just what the Red Stars needed. I mean, we said it a minute ago. If they needed to get a goal right away to feel like they were back in this game, now at 3-1, they got some belief back. They've got to feel like it's possible.
It's Jen Hoy, one of the substitutions early here in the second half, here in the 74th minute after a stop penalty. Normally that gives your team some momentum, but a counter right away, and Jen Hoy calmly slots that one past Hope Solo, and the Reign shutout is going to have to wait for another day, and they'll have to continue to fight here with still plenty of time remaining for Chicago to chase those final two goals.
And it's, Coach Laura Harvey talked right before the game about not needing some more killer instinct especially when you're in the lead. The Reign gave away two really, really easy chances right there. Late in the game when they're up 3-0, they need to lock things down and have some pride and have some confidence and put this game away, but they can't do it, and that they're still looking for that first shutout of the season.
Good finish from the substitute. Coach Rory Dames obviously will get some credit for that goal. after his team was shut out for the first 73 minutes or so of this match.
Just wasn't enough pressure on her as she brought that ball down.
Nairn and Rapinoe trying to connect the return pass. Nairn's going to chase down, along with Fishlock. Yeah, she's good to go. She's back in there fighting hard. Goes out for a rain throw. Still a quarter of an hour to play. And David, as a coach, is this where you're up 3-1? Is this where you start biting your fingernails off a bit?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, there isn't a heck of a lot of time left in the game, and obviously you've got a 2-goal cushion. So I don't know that you're biting your fingernails off. If the Red Stars are able to get another one here quickly, that changes things a little bit because the momentum's all clearly in their on their side of the field. But you know, I think Laura Harvey's going to get into her team and ask her to ask them to lock things down here.
And the Reign still with a substitution option. 2 substitutions remaining. Chicago has used up all 3. This, incidentally, is the final score of the last time these two teams met. The first ever Reign FC home win. Good flick on there by Leslie Osborne. Cleanup work courtesy of Kaylin Kyle. Adriana Leon into Ella Masser, able to get over Winters. Looks like out for a throw.
Just want to see more urgency from the Reign defenders, closing down and putting pressure on that player on the ball when in those dangerous positions.
Especially on throw-ins. They actually conceded a penalty against Western New York Flash because they're a little too, just, I don't want to say lazy, but just not sharp, not ready for the throw-in, and that ended up resulting in a Keelan Winters handball and a Abby Wambach successfully converted spot kick. Here's Ella Masser into the 18, crack. Perhaps not hit as strong as Santacaterina would have liked. Keelan Winters plays that into space. She's chopped down. Foul against the Red Stars.
Well, I think there was some hope that when they put Stephanie Cox in the back line, that she would give some of that maturity, some of that composure for situations just like this, and she would add some fire. Hasn't been. It's hard to do that from an outside back position. You'd rather see her central, sort of commanding things and helping build shape, but just hasn't been in evidence tonight. Obviously, she's still building herself back into the game, still building some fitness, and that will come over time.
Jen Hoy, the second Red Star book, the goal scorer for Chicago, joining Adriana Leon here in the 78th minute in the center's book. Pass through midfield, good first touch there from Chalupny. Good job by Christine Nairn to cut her run short. Van Egmond. Santacaterina wins out in that challenge. There's a high boot, kick to the chest. Winters having a tough go of it here. Rapinoe's throw in. Picks up an option. There's Christine Nairn. Chases it all the way to the byline to earn her team the corner kick and relieve some of the pressure. Edging toward the final 10 minutes of the match. And David Barton, you and I will have the pleasure for our first time to pick the player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, so far there have been a couple of different players who I think have really had an influence on this game. I don't think you'll ever be able to have a player of the game conversation without talking about Megan Rapinoe when she plays. She clearly scored the first goal and has taken corner kicks that have led to some dangerous chances.
Cox looking at the back post, trying to hook up with Kaylin Kyle.
Well, and there's the other player that you got to think about for sure. I mean, she got the header that led to that goal. She's been dangerous all night going forward. She's been strong at the back, obviously winning balls in the air and playing with composure when the ball's at her feet. She's another person you got to talk about as having a real influence on this game. We'll
make that selection in about 5 minutes, but I think your thoughts echo the thoughts bouncing around in my head. Kaylin Kyle's been extremely impressive. The Saskatoon, Saskatchewan native. Canadian international. Still 10 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time left for some more fireworks for this excitable Starfire crowd. gorgeous night. The light's still not quite taking effect. Love late August here, late July here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, don't say it's late August yet.
Here's Cox. Tried to find Liz Bogus. Continues to bear down and earn her team a throw.
I think every parent in our audience had a slight heart attack when you said it was late August.
2017, they announced attendance. It is a good crowd out here Thursday night. Had the first ever sellout last match. That was nationally televised on Fox Soccer, last home match, pardon me, against the Washington Spirit. 2-0 win. So fans trying to hear about the rain. There's a front page article in the Seattle Times today. Good job on the ball from Jen Hoy, the goal scorer. She went a long ways before someone finally cut that run short.
That's too bad. Emily Van Egmond made up her mind early on that she was going to play that ball across her body out to the left to Megan Rapinoe. She didn't see Christine Nairn floating out on the right touchline, screaming for the ball. She was open in acres of space. Had she been able to find her feet, Nairn would have been running even still.
Another dangerous opportunity off of a throw-in, and out her line confidently and punching it away is Hope Solo, who's had a very good game, especially the highlight stopping the penalty from Inca Grings. Nothing she could do about the one goal the Reign did concede. I have to say, it's not very often you have a goalkeeper, player of the game, woman of the match in a 3-0 result. But if it hadn't maintained 3-0, I would have been very tempted to name her player of the match.
Yeah, it's a shame that the players in front of her couldn't repay her for making that save and for her bailing them out by being a little tighter, being a little tougher, and not allowing that chance on goal immediately afterwards.
Reign are going to try to slow things down as best they can. There's a good find. Liz Bogus in the 18. Will she finish? Yes! Bogus with a goal. First of the season. What a response from the Reign. They well and truly have put this one to rest. And really, Erin McLeod has not had much help here in the second half from her back line. We only see the finish there.
There's Liz Bogus getting on that back shoulder of the defender, sliding in behind her, and then just clinically putting it away under the keeper as she comes out. It's great work by Liz Bogus. It's exactly what she was put in the game for.
There can be absolutely no complaints from the home fans here tonight. They got what they came to see. Goals, goals, and more goals. For Chicago, they have really no time to regroup. They got to go play a tough Portland Thorns side on the weekend in the first ever nationally televised match at Jeld-Wen for NWSL, and you know that's going to be packed stadium.
This game's definitely going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. I mean, I don't think they're going to feel like they got outplayed as badly as the scoreline shows, but they are going to be frustrated. I mean, again, this is a game that they felt like they should get points out of. And they're not going to be looking forward to having to come back here in a few weeks.
So let's go ahead and name our player of the match as we near the 85th. I agree with you, Kaylin Kyle.
Yeah, clearly she's had a terrific game. She's been the anchor in the back, winning balls whenever she can, stepping up to physical challenges, and then putting home the PK. Not to mention the headers at the back post that have led to chances for other players and almost a goal for her. Kaylin's been just a powerhouse in the middle of the park today.
Just to recap the goals then, we may have another one here. Rapinoe has a pair. Kyle has the spot kick, and Liz Bogus getting in on the party here just moments ago. That attack that was MIA through the first half of the season is alive and well here for the stretch run, aside from a little nap it took at Kansas City on the past weekend.
See, but this is the next level of maturity for the Seattle Reign. I mean, they've gotten this result. They've got the game well in hand at this point, and they feel like they've won it. And you can see they've just taken their foot off the gas pedal. Their concentration isn't there. The hard runs aren't there. Instead, they should have a sense of pride. They should be locking things down right now. They should be working hard for each other to keep the scoreline exactly what it is, not let the Red Stars get anything back.
Ella Masser had a crack after Jen Hoy almost had an opportunity. Just not enough pressure outside the top of that 18, not stepping too quick enough.
Well, and a lazy pass gave the ball away to start with and allowed them to counter again from that position right at the bottom of the circle.
We're going to have another change for Seattle. Checking out is Christine Nairn. Puts in an 85-minute shift here tonight. Will be replaced by Kate Dynas.
Number 4, Kate Dynas.
And that's exactly what Laura Harvey is saying, is like, let's bring in Kate Dynas, let's lock down the back, let's make sure that we're safe, a little safer defensively, pull off a forward, put in a defensive midfielder.
And give something for the fans. They're soccer savvy. They know that she's an Issaquah native here from the Northwest. Love to see Dynas get minutes when she can.
Yeah, I don't think you can sit in the analyst chair over here and not mention that she went to the University of Washington.
Exactly. We only have University of Washington analysts. Luckily, I'm a Pacific Lutheran alum, so we inject a little bit of the D3 game while we're at it. Ella Masser up. Chip forward from Leon. Van Egmond still working hard.
20 years old, I think that's what her teammates count on her for.
Yeah, there are a lot of different things 20-year-olds do, and apparently one of them is lead top-level national teams. At least that's what we see here. Chances perhaps not done for the Red Stars. Good play by Masser. Hustling toward the byline as Leon gets the ball in. No one there near post.
Yeah, that's a good hold-up play at the top of the box and distribution wide. They slide that ball in, but too easy for Hope.
Nice to see Chicago still pressing for a goal. Still playing with that pride you've talked about wanting the Reign to play with. Rapinoe. Good give and go. Shot is blocked. So 4 matches to go for the Reign. They have one more home match, one last time to come see this team in person. That's August 17th against Portland Thorns. And that should be a wonderful rivalry, a wonderful match, a wonderful derby. Seattle will try to get some points out of that for the first time from the rivals down south. But between now and then, they're on the road at Chicago, at Western New York, and at Washington. And you got to imagine those are 3 matches that they can win.
Yeah, well, they've got to be looking forward to that match against the Thorns. I mean, 2 teams that had absolutely opposite starts to the season. The Thorns came out flying, looked like definitely the team to beat in the league. All their high-flying players clicking early on in the season. And, of course, the Reign couldn't get out of their own way and had that terrible, terrible losing streak to start the season. But now, Reign obviously riding a bit of a positive wave now. Found their attacking verve a little bit, and the Thorns are struggling a little bit. They've lost their way, and it's been a long season for them. Of course, it looks like they're obviously going to make the playoffs, but it should be a good battle between those 2 teams.
And for the Reign, those next 3 matches are teams against teams they've all had success against. Perhaps time for one more. We'll see what happens here if they just take it to the corner flag. I'd imagine that's what they'll do. Van Egmond does lose out. Rapinoe was raising her hand. She wanted the ball back. Ever the competitor. For Chicago, the road is not quite as sunny, but it's just as critical. Ball played looking far post. Still pressing, trying for a goal. Appeals for a handball, not given. Shot goes for naught. Chicago are on the road to Portland. Get returned for the fixture against Seattle. Away to Washington, home against Sky Blue, and then away to Kansas City. Some very tough matches on the trot for the Red Stars. This won't eliminate them from the playoff race, but it will make their journey just a little bit more difficult. Fishlock over to Rapinoe. Continues to put her stamp on this match. Deflected shot almost lands for Van Egmond. Crowd still making noise here, 90 minutes strong. Foul whistled. That was Grings who got shot down. It looks like the goalkeeper's coming all the way up to take it.
The Red Stars just getting as many numbers as far forward as they possibly can now.
Fourth official about to show the added time. There won't be too much of it. McLeod sends it toward the top of the 18.
2 minutes of added time.
If you could hear that over the public address system, 2 minutes added time.
Kate Dynas doing what she was brought in to do, being strong in the air, in a crowd of people, rising up, heading that ball away, allowing the Reign to defend facing the field.
McLeod's ball forward once more. Trying to get on it is Adriana Leon. She's really been trying hard since conceding that penalty. Been in and around the 6 all game. Just not able to find that connection in the final third for the Red Stars really all night, aside from that counterattack goal. They did have the penalty that was stopped. Then Egmond trying to get ahead to it. Players know that the inevitable is upon us. The clock's just about to strike full time. And David, it's been a rebound performance. Exactly what the coach was talking to us before the game. Exactly what Laura Harvey was talking to us.
Yeah, I mean, she said she didn't feel like they really showed up for that Kansas City game, and they certainly showed up, at least from an attacking perspective, tonight. She brought in a couple of new players, I think, to try and see what they could add to the side. Certainly, I think I've been impressed with Emily Van Egmond, with her composure, her ability to distribute, and her ability to hold the ball, and her overall presence on the field. Stephanie Cox still a little bit of a work in progress. I think obviously she did well at times and showed her experience, but she's still coming back to full fitness, and she's there are going to be lots of games ahead for her.
Well, it's full-time whistle. No shake-up in the standings. Chicago Red Stars will still be on 22 points. Seattle pick up the 3, improve it to 5, 10, and 3 on 18 points. And David, what are some of the takeaways for Chicago? They got to go play a tough match at Portland. They fall 4-1 here. What do they do next?
As we take a look at Kaylin Kyle, our player of the match right now, getting congratulated by her teammates. I think the Red Stars are going to say, "Hey, look, we gave up that early opportunity. We got to have more composure early on, and then we got to get that goal back in the first half and turn it into a more competitive match." I mean, they put themselves in a situation where they had to press forward, and it opened up space behind them and allowed the Reign to get a couple more goals, put the game away for them.
Seattle in the last 8 matches now 5-1-2 with 16 goals over that stretch. We'll see you back here at Starfire Stadium next on August 17th, the final home match of the season against the Portland Thorns FC. Tickets are available on Seattle Reign FC, or Reign FC if you prefer, .com. Pair of goals from Megan Rapinoe, goal from Kaylin Kyle, and to seal the deal, a goal from Liz Bogus. And then the one response from Chicago was a goal from substitute Jen Hoy. Seattle Reign Football Club take down Chicago Red Stars 4-1. David, it's been a pleasure working with you tonight.
Same to you.
4-1. Reign take the victory here from Starfire Stadium. I'm Landyn Rookard. Good night, and we'll see you next time here.
Thanks, everyone.